if you've been here before, and welcome to my channel if this is the first time you've been here. On this channel, I talk about personal sovereignty, how to reclaim your personal sovereignty, and the effects that that has on your life. Today, I am going to be talking about the mindset of self-care. I struggled for a long time with feeling deserving of taking care of myself. I wasn't cared for as a child in the way that I needed to be. I wasn't abused, I wasn't neglected, and nothing like that. I just wasn't cared for, I guess, enough. There was nothing special done for me. There was nothing consistently like over, above and beyond the basics of what I needed to be a reasonably well-adjusted child. I kind of grew up feeling as though extra self-care, luxuries, treats, they weren't for me, if you know what I mean. And so I kind of developed this limiting belief that I didn't deserve to be looked after, especially outside of birthdays and Christmas. As I got older and I met my husband, because there have been two, I'm single now, but there are two ex-husbands in my life, friends and other people who then did show me that extra care that I hadn't experienced previously. I started to think, well, maybe there is something in this. Maybe getting a present when it's not my birthday is okay. Maybe someone thinking enough of me to treat me, maybe that is okay. I have kind of gone on a bit of a journey with this over the last few years. I took on board that treat yourself thing and ended up in quite a lot of debt. So I was treating myself in the wrong way, using external stuff to try and make me feel better. And that moment where I'd hand over my card and get something in return, whatever it was just like, oh my God, an exciting transaction. And it's only in the last couple of months that I've actually realised that that moment of excitement is really fleeting. And I'd come home and a week later, I'd totally forgotten what I bought on that particular shopping spree. And I was just left with the debt. So I've come to understand that the way that I truly want to be treated, the way that I truly want to be cared for, is from the heart. So still like nice things, and I like nice things more than ever before, but I like nice things in a mindful way. I now am very choosy about what I have in my life. Thing that comes into it has to be in line with my vision. So, and that's been a huge mindset shift for me, a huge mindset change of being intentional and mindful about how I treat myself. So in terms of here's an actual treat, a thing, but also my inner voice, because I always felt like someone had to keep me in line and that person had to be me, which basically gave myself the permission to treat me however I felt. So if I was frustrated, I'd take it out on myself. If I was angry, I'd take it out on myself. If I was jealous, I would feel guilty and I'd take that guilt out on myself. So my life up until quite recently has been a lot of self-bullying. And a couple of things have happened to change that. Firstly, I had an actual bully in my life, someone who treated me so badly that those are days that I do not wish to go back to and I don't wish to ever inflict on anybody else. And I will talk about this in a future video, there's no place for it here. Because today is about the way that my mind has changed and the way that yours can too. And the other thing that happened, and these two things happened at the same time, so nothing like a bit of overwhelm, I had my daughter. And I looked at myself very, very deeply. I was forced to look at myself, actually, through various, again, external influences. And I found myself in a very dark place. And a part of me knew that if I stayed in that dark place, I would be dragging my daughter down with me. So out of basically sheer bloody mindedness, excuse my French, but out of that, I dragged myself out to the extent where I was able to ask for help. And then I was able to bring myself to the place where I am now, which is where I am so happy with who I am. And I'm so happy with the way that my life is going. There's always improvements. And that's another thing to remember, is that during all of this stuff, there's always improvements you can make, and wanting more doesn't necessarily mean you're not happy where you are, because happiness is in the moment. And that's another mindset shift that I had to have. I dropped the if-thens, and again, that's something I'll talk about in the future, but I dropped the if-thens. If I meet someone, then I'll be happy. If I have more money, then I'd be happy. If the sun was shining, then I'd be more happy. That's actually rubbish, because I have learned the hard way but I didn't really twig until recently. But I've learned the hard way that placing your happiness in something else means that if that thing goes away, then what happens to your happiness then? Does your happiness go away? Do you stop being happy? Do you stop being loved? Do you stop being content and confident? Yes, you do. That's the answer to that, is yes. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to live in a state of uncertainty where something that I'm like hooking my love, my joy, my happiness, my fulfillment onto goes away and leaves me like completely adrift. That's happened to me before, more than once. As a little aside, I firmly believe that we are taught a lesson, and if we don't get the lesson, we're taught it again and again and again and again, and each time it gets worse and worse and worse and worse, until one day it finally hits us that this lesson has to be learned, otherwise I'm just going to be stuck here forever. Okay, so back to the mindset of self-care. You deserve to be cared for as much as the people you're caring for deserve to be cared for. You deserve to be cared for, and chances are that if you're anything like me, which you probably are because you're watching my channel, you don't actually have that many people who meet your needs the way that they need to be met. And this could be for a couple of reasons. It could be because you don't know what they are yourself. They could be that you've been influenced so much by other people and the situations around you that you've kind of forgotten. It could be that you don't know how to express your needs and your wants and what you need in your life. It could be that you've tried but you've not succeeded. It could be that you feel like nobody else is meeting those needs. You can't really hitch your happiness on something other than yourself. So this is where self-care comes in. If you feel, well, even if you don't feel, even if people around you are meeting your needs, you deserve and you owe it to yourself to take care of yourself. You're the one who's in your life and experience. So the only person who can truly know your needs and then subsequently meet them is yourself. And when that mindset shift happened for me, I immediately became happier because I became empowered to be my own queen, to be my own champion, to be the queen of my life, to be my best friend, to be my cheerleader and the one who knows me the best and therefore can care for me the best. Most important thing to remember with self-care is that you do deserve it. Every day is the special day. There's never going to be today ever again. You will never be the same person as you are right now ever again, for good or bad. You will never have the experience of living in this moment ever again. So today is the single most important day of your life, and every single day of your life is the single most important day of your life. So use your fancy soap, use your nice china, wear your beautiful dress, even around the house. I mean, it's lockdown times, so you know, wear your nicest outfit. Fancy Friday, it's a thing on Instagram. And cultivate within you belief and a feeling of I deserve to be cared for in the way that I want to be cared for. And if you don't know what that is, grab yourself a notebook. How cute is this guy, right? So grab yourself a notebook and a pen and write down why you think you don't deserve to be cared for by yourself. And write down all the barriers. Maybe it's time, maybe it's money, maybe you're so focused on everybody else. The problem with not caring for yourself is that you get completely drained. You can't give unless you are in ease and comfortable and confident and happy and relaxed and all the other things. Think of a day where you're really stressed out. What happens? You get in fights with people, don't you? You snipe and you so write down all that stuff. Get all of that out. I want you to understand why you feel like self-care is not for you. And then I want you to write the opposite of all that stuff. I don't have time. I hear this a lot. I don't have time. I don't have money. So on the time thing, you do have time. Get up an hour earlier. Yeah, I know. Mindset shift into getting up an hour earlier. I've started doing it. I've started getting up at 6. And I'll link my morning routine video for you so that you can like be inspired if you like. And there's a lot of information out there on morning routines, but the number one lesson that it's brought me is that there is time for me. And also the mindset behind there is time for me is this: what you value, you will find a way to do. So I value time to myself. I value my exercise, my yoga, meditation, reading. These are the things I do in the morning. I also drink copious amounts of coffee, and lots of water. And I do all of that between 6 and 7 a.m. before Eleanor gets up, and we start our day together, because I value those things enough that I am willing to go to bed an hour earlier so I can get up an hour earlier, which is very early for some people, but my day starts early and, you know, it finishes early, and I'm good with that. And then in terms of not having money, I'm no like beauty expert in any way whatsoever, but if you wanted to, for example, do an at-home spa day, then there's lots and lots of recipes that you can find online, or, you know, search on YouTube DIY home spa, and you'll find stuff that you can get out of your cupboard that you can use on your skin, like chemical free. So, you know, you can always find a way if that's what you want. We have just written down all of the barriers to self-care, haven't we? And then hopefully you're working through all of the ways that you can care for yourself. You can find the time, the money, the mindset, the brain space, all of it. And also what I want you to write down actually is what self-care actually means to you. So the mindset shift that you may need to take is that firstly, you deserve it. Secondly, you have the resourcefulness to be able to do it. Self-care is so important. Put on your own oxygen mask before you put on other people's. You can't pour champagne from an empty bottle. You know, all the usual stuff. That's my today's little nugget of wisdom about self-care mindset. You deserve it, and you can have it. If you want more videos like this, then consider subscribing, hit notifications so you don't miss them. Leave a comment, like the video, give me a thumbs up. Tell me what you think and what you need. Tell me your self-care routines and your mindset changes. And I will see you in the next video. Take care, everyone. Bye.